Welcome back to Sporty Monday. Now, AFCON returns to Africa, rather, for the first time since 1976. You could do the calculation how many years those are when Ethiopia last hosted that particular tournament here in Africa.
East Africa, right?
In East Africa, yeah. So,
but Ethiopia is in Eastern
Africa.
Eastern Africa.
Yes.
But I've said it comes back to Africa for the first time since 1976, right? So, we have a deadline by CAF to ensure that the sports stadia are in top-notch or are ready before that particular tournament comes in. And we'll start with you, Shitera, on this. Sports CS Murkomen inspected Nyayo Stadium, more international sports stadium, Kasarani, and the construction of the Talanta City Stadium ahead of the AFCON 2027. He said he's satisfied with the progress of those renovations and the construction, as you can see on your screen there. But according to you, how is the progress of Kenya's stadium renovations and the construction so far?
I am satisfied. I am satisfied. We might be having the troubles now of where to host our home matches, but I will clearly tell you that I'm satisfied with what is going on at Talanta City and Kasarani from the pictures I saw. What was done between 2017 and 2021 in the name of renovating Kasarani and Nyayo Stadium was a very, very big joke. And I think the people who are doing it did not understand what putting up a world-class stadium meant. And I would want to say that it's a very sorry situation that we lost money in the renovation of Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani between 2017 and 2021, when the stadium was closed for over 4 years, you remember, Kasarani. Mm-hmm. Then it was opened up, only for Nyayo Stadium to lose the scoreboard in the name of renovation. Yes. So what is going on currently, I would want to congratulate former CS Ababu Namwamba for the foundation he put to put up a world-class Talanta Stadium and the renovation of Kasarani Stadium and the Nyayo Stadium eventually. So eventually we'll have 3 world-class stadiums. In fact, there will be 3 world-class sporting facilities, because when you look at Kasarani, it hosts almost every sporting discipline, from swimming, volleyball, basketball, yeah. And it has accommodation inside the complex. So it should be Talanta Stadium, which is coming up very well. And if I heard the CS right, he said, I think Kasarani will be the first one to be available. And with the works going on, I'm very confident we will beat the CAF deadlines.
Talking about especially those timelines, saying Kasarani and Nyayo will be ready before the end of this year, between November and December, and the construction.
Kasarani to be specific.
Yes. And then we have the construction of Talanta City Stadium. It will be ready before the end of next year.
Correct.
Are they viable timelines?
Yes, we have. I heard the president talking about that Talanta City Stadium will be available by the end of next year, meaning that 2025. So we have a one year 2026 for inspection and doing 1, 2, 3 that are not ready. So and talking about the CS, that is he was the former CS for the roads and transport, and of course he knows all these constructors and what they've been doing there. So for me, I know we are going to host the 2027 AFCON here in East Africa, and saying that, it's just that you saw the second stadium for Uganda last week that I was showing here. Actually, we are better even than them, as we have already laid the foundation. For them, they wanachimba, bado wanachimba kama shamba, but for us, we already laid the foundation. So for us, I think we are ready to go. We just give it the timeline. If we reach the timeline that the CS and the president says, we are good to go for the AFCON 2027, and knowing that we are going to host the opening and closing ceremony. Yeah. So we have to be ready. We have to be ready by 2027.
You see, we might look behind,
yes.
But just like a marathon, the winners will not always start from the front.
Yes.
Tanzania and Uganda might look ahead of us now. But come 2025, when we will have completed all the infrastructure, we'll be ahead of them all.
Yes.
So when they say the opening and the closing ceremony will be held at the Talanta Sports City, I 100% agree with it. It will be the newest facility in the region.
And Valerie, the best, you know, and the best.
And you know, talking about... At the as you contribute, looking at our neighbors as well, Uganda and Tanzania. Tanzania seem to be making headways as far as their construction of the stadia and renovation is concerned. They've actually done quite a lot on their stadia, considering that it will be in Dar es Salaam and also in Arusha. In Arusha and Zanzibar as well. Compare what is happening between these three nations in terms of the infrastructure as of now.
You know, the first thing people should know that Tanzania, at the moment, they have Benjamin Mkapa. It's a good stadium. But when it comes to infrastructure, Kenya have good roads. We have everything nice.
Hotels.
So, hotels. Also, talking about stadiums in Kenya, I think Talanta, when you see it's on picture, it looks good. And we hope that ile kazi ambayo ilianzishwa pale na Babu na Mwamba, Kipchumba Murkomen will do what, will finish it well. And let me just pray that venye huwa anasema like Nyayo Stadium is under renovation, let it be under renovation, because the last time we heard that it was closed, the next time tuliona maombi. So kumekuwa pale na ile we laughing.
Wewe upendi maombi?
No. Okay, prayers iko, napenda maombi, yes, but when we say that we want to renovate a stadium, we should be serious. Like Kasarani, at least says wako serious because we are seeing the pictures, something is good. About Nyayo, we have not seen anything. We had a game yesterday, I was there, I was watching Gor Mahia, but what is it that they're supposed to do so that it can be good by the end of next year, December? So they should be serious. When they say they close, they should close everything. Saizi kuna Dandora, we can use that
it's
pitch.
Being overused, actually.
It's Dandora. Okay, we can overuse it so that we can create space for the AFCON 2027.
Yes.
I don't know why FKF and the government does not open up Kirigiti Stadium for Premier League matches. Yeah.
Because if we overuse the Dandora Stadium, it's going to be like the one in Eastlands, the other one that NSL used to be playing.
Let me tell
so let's hope, as much as the FKF Premier League, it's being played there, it's being managed well with the people, with the surface and everything. So talking about the Uganda and Tanzania. As you said, we are ahead.
Let me give an example, just 1 minute. Let me give an example. The Sekafa games that are being played in Ethiopia, I think it was on Wednesday. It was a game for Simba Queens against, was it a team from Ethiopia? Iyo grawi ilikuwa imejaa maji. So I'm telling you, even if we overuse Dandora, it's okay. Let's overuse it.
For the greater
Iyo ilikuwa a big tournament, but the ground ilikuwa biduanze kutoa maji. So,
and inspection ikikuja kufanywa, let people who know what is supposed to be there to be there. Nyayo si walisema ilikuwa inspected, it was in the what?
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at, or let's hear what CS Murkomen had to say after inspecting the three stadia, the progress of the three stadia. This is what he had to say on Saturday.
We have confidence. I know these contractors myself, having worked with them in the transport and road sector, and they do a good job also in that sector. So they have proven themselves before, but we will not leave anything to chance. Oversight will continue, and I believe the work they are doing here is already visibly by what they are doing, it's commendable. But that does not mean they sleep on the job. We say mgema akisifiwa, pengine ataongeza tempo maji.
We are on course. In terms of the progress, looking at it against the set timelines. And it is really gratifying to see how much AFCON portends in terms of contributing to the revamping and, enhancing the sports facilities in the country. And from the Ministry of Defense side, it is really one of those projects that we feel are very integral.
Well, that is New Sports CS Kipchumba Murkomen there, and the Defense CS Ipan Tuya after they toured the renovations at Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani and the construction of Talanta City Stadium. Quickly, Isia, what is your opinion about what they just said?
I am optimistic that really we are going to see the completion of the stadia as they have promised. And but I want to put a caution, because I've had my colleagues here saying that we are ahead of Tanzania and Uganda. It's not true, because Tanzania, they have a ready stadium, Benjamin Mkapa. Uganda have their ready stadium number one. That's why we're going to play our World Cup, our AFCON qualifiers there next month. But this is to say that we need to make sure that we don't relax, we don't rest, because Talanta being the main stadium that is going to be used for this tournament, then it's very far. It's now just actually starting. So you look at the timelines, knowing that sometimes there are uncertainties that arise, then we need to really feel that sense of urgency. We can't say that we are ahead of other countries that have at least a stadium that is ready, So basically, we have to keep pushing. But I also agree, like Valerie said, that if we say that it is total closure of a facility to facilitate, the construction, let it be that way, instead of having this idea of we are closing now, then we open next time for some convenience, we close again, we open, so that we are able to see completion, because the timelines are not, we have just 1 year, and then we'll be talking about that deadline by CAF.
Yes. And, okay, that's where we actually end that discussion about the inspection of the sports stadia that we have in the country ahead of the AFCON 2027. And I hope that all will be well as we wait for the deadline to come in and for CAF to inspect those stadiums and see if they are ready for use in June and July when the AFCON will be taking place. Now we shift focus to rugby, where we had Kabeberi's Sevens taking place this past weekend, that is on Saturday and Sunday at the RFUEA grounds. And KCB emerged the winners, and let's take a look at how the final match took place when KCB defeated
Oilers.
Yes, Menengai Oilers 27-5. Let's take a look at that action. Well, that is the action yesterday when Menengai Oilers were taking on KCB. They were deep fried by KCB. We start with you, Zita. What can you attribute KCB's win to? Is it experience? Is it the squad? Is it the support they have from the management?
First of all, congratulations to KCB, because they've been, for the whole year, they've not won anything for this. They are win for 7, but they're good. They're always good in the sevens than the other one. Is it is it 21 or 14? 15s. Cabras are good in 15s.
Yes.
But when you talk about the sevens, give it to KCB, because again you can see a lot of national teams for the sevens mostly comes from KCB. So for me, them winning that is a congratulation for them. Again, Oilers doing very well. They finished in the I think third in the other tournament, and now they're second. For me, Oilers are again doing very well. I can see now other teams coming up, Oilers coming up. I can see Harlequins winning the last tournament coming up. I can see now KCB winning coming up. So for me, I think the Cabra's dominance is going down. Or maybe, as I said, they are good in the 15s, but not good in the 7s.
Yes. Yeah. And coming to you, it was KCB's first cup this season. And of course, they lost to Harlequins in the Kakamega Ingos Sevens. Was it 2 weekends ago? How likely are they to continue this winning streak? We've seen them do it in the past. How likely are they to continue now that they've gotten hold of the first cup of the season?
Retaining their cup.
They are the overall circuit cup holders, and I think we are seeing a very interesting 7 circuit season this time round. I mean, no team can boast and say that they are dominating. This time round, we've seen KCB, we have seen Cabras, we have seen also Harlequins, meaning that really is a good competition. And I think that is the whole essence of every sport, where you see some good competition, not a one-man show. Nonetheless, I was getting a little bit worried for KCB when I was seeing them now almost like appearing to be fading off from this sevens affair, knowing also that they have not been doing so well in the recent past in the 15s, of course, with the dominance of Cabras. So it means for me that at least this win is going to encourage them going to the final legs of the circuit and maybe to get some more wins. But exactly what is major for me is picking the kind of players we are having in these teams who are starting for these teams, especially the ones who are coming also from the national team, because I'm seeing that the familiar faces that we have been seeing in the national team with Bling Wambua,
yes,
they also most of them have come back from the Paris Olympics and they are putting some impact in their teams, which for me is something major, because at the end of the day, these clubs are always supposed to be, the source of our pride when it comes to the national team. But essentially, as it is now, it is going to be difficult to predict how the final legs of this circuit are going to be, having seen how it's being exchanged between, now KCB, Oilers, Cabras, because it's very interesting this time around.
Yes, and looking at the Oilers, come to you, Zita, looking at the Oilers, they finished runners-up this particular competition. They also finished runners-up in Dallas Sevens in Kisumu last weekend. What is happening to them? And, they have, do they really have that support from the management, and what is the deal behind them losing, that is twice, finishing runners-up twice?
Of course, they have the support, playing for a very, they're sponsored, they're being sponsored by a very big company, knowing that, of course, financial muscles is there. And again, they're located in Nakuru, knowing that Nakuru, they're good in rugby. So for me, I think they just have to polish a little bit on 1, 2, 3, even if it's buying players from other teams so that they can know. There's a team that knows how to win to win a tournament, knowing that if they're in the finals, and there are a team when they're in the finals, maybe they don't know how to win. But in the group stages, they're doing very well. So for me, I think they should just work on 1 and 2 things too, so that the next game they're playing, or the next tournament they're playing, so that they can win that tournament.
And I think they're doing well. We need to laud Weru, his boys. They are doing well, knowing the kind of competition. Talking about now KCB, talking about Cabras, and they have been dominating. They have been putting a good challenge, especially at the Dala Sevens. They showed something good. So basically, I'm thinking that even as we look at some of the challenges they have faced, also we have to laud them that at least they are giving some good challenge to the perennial, masters of the game.
Exactly.
And really, like I said, you never know what happens in the final legs of this circuit. They could surprise somebody in maybe 1 or 2 legs there.
Indeed,